Hello everyone, it's Helen here and thank you for joining me today. So here I have the Papercraft Society Box number 3 by Paula Pasquale, and I'm really excited to work with this one today. There is an unboxing video on my channel and I will make sure that is linked down below if you want a further in-depth look at what is in the box. So I'm just going to be digging out the things that I'm going to be using today. So today we're going to be making a very simple and easy mini album, and I don't think I have done this particular style on my channel before, so this style of album is going to be new for this channel. You may have seen it before on other channels. It's a very popular design. It's really super easy as well, so anyone can make this one, and I'll be using some of the projects from this Papercraft Society box. But again, the album I'm making, it can be used with whatever supplies that you want. So let's grab all the things that we're going to be needing today. So I'm going to be needing the die set, so I will be using the die set to decorate my album. So this is upside down, but this is the die set here, and it's not joined together or linked. It's down on tape, so it's going to be really easy to get those dies off. And I'm going to be using the cardstock and the stamps as well, so let's fish those out. There's some lovely silver mirror cardstock in there, and I'm going to be using some of the papers as well. I don't think I'll be using any of the stencils. I want to experiment with those on their own, so let's put that away. And I'm going to be doing some watercolouring today as well, because I do love to watercolour, especially when I see stamps, especially like floral stamps. So I'm going to be using these hybrid, they're upside down, these hybrid ink pads here. So they're pigment and dye ink pads. So, and they're water soluble, so you can use these for your watercolouring, and I'll be showing you exactly how I do that. And I am going to be using these two things here, are the baker's twine. I said butcher's twine in my other video. I meant baker's twine, butcher baker, candlestick maker. But anyway, and I'll be using these gems as well. So I'm going to put all the things back in the box that I'm not going to be using immediately, because I'm going to be making the album first. Let's pop everything back. Everything's now ready for me to delve into that box for what I need. So everything that I've used down below, everything that I've used today will be linked down below. So we're going to be making the base of our album first, and then we'll be moving on to decorating. So I'm just going to grab my scoreboard. There we go. And the bone folder. This does come with its own onboard bone folder, but I do kind of prefer to just use my own. So I've cut down 6 pieces of cardstock. I'll give you some measurements for these, and all the measurements will be on my blog. There'll be a link down below. It will take you straight to this project page where this video is going to be there as well on the same page, so everything is under one roof. So this measures 5 1/4 by 4 1/2, and you need 6 of those. So these are going to be our pages, and it's going to come together really simply. So all we're going to do is score at 3/8 of an inch, turn it over, and then score again at 3/8 of an inch, or you can do 3/8 of an inch and then score again at 4 7/8 if you don't want to do all the switcheroos. So let's do that to all 6 of these. So 3/8 of an inch and 4 7/8. So that is going to give us 3/8 of an inch on both sides. So quickly do that for all of them. Okay, so this is going to be our cover, and this measures, let's get you some more measurements here, measures 9 1/2 by 5 1/2. Oops. It's going to be 4 5/8. There we go. I'm doing this from memory now, so this is where things can go horribly wrong, relying on my memory. So this is 4 5/8, and then turn it round, and we're going to score it again at 4 5/8. And there we go. That is all of our scoring now done. Let's pop this away. Now it's time to burnish. Whoop. So let's do our burnishing now. Best results are with a bone folder here. So that is going to be the outside cover of our album, and it's going to open up just like that. So let's set that aside, and now we can score. Sorry, we've done all the scores. We can now fold all of our score lines, and these need to be done both ways because they're going to move both ways. So do that on all 6 of your pages. And the cardstock I'm using, it's called Pale Grey, and it's from Creative Expressions. It's from the Foundations range, and I will make sure that is linked down below. I love this cardstock. It's around about 220 GSM, so it's just perfect. Whoops, for making all of your bases for cards, mini albums, even 3D projects. It's perfect for all of those things, and there's a nice wide range of colours as well. And you get, I think it's around about 20, it could be 25 sheets per pack. So, and it's only $4.99 at Craft Stash, so it's really affordable. So if you know, need all the colours, just buy a couple every month, and you'll have a lovely choice of cardstock built up in no time. Okay, so these are all now folded. Now it's time to get these glued together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a zigzaggy shape by only gluing one side. So I'm using Cosmic, there's no sticker there, I took it off when I was on her Chanda. So I'm using Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear glue, and it sets really fast as well, so you have to be quite quick with what you want it to do. So line everything up, do this if you have to, just make sure everything's lined up, and then press down. And then we have this section here, it's going to fold out just like that. And then on this side we're going to do the opposite. On the opposite side we're going to do exactly the same. So this bottom flap here we're going to leave clear at the moment. I'm not going to do anything with that. That is what is going to glue this whole little booklet that we're making into our cover. So grab your next one and then pop that on, line everything up, make sure everything is straight, or otherwise you may end up with a wonky book. So it should start to look like this now. So I have made these for magazine commissions before, but I haven't actually made one of these, I don't think, for my channel, so I may just end up making a larger version of this too, because these are quite fun to make and to decorate, and they're really super easy to do as well. So this is an absolutely perfect last minute gift. Okay, it's starting to take shape now, so I'm not going to show you every time. So just make sure when you add your glue, you're alternating the sides. Each layer goes on, you're alternating each side. You can use red line tape, double-sided tape for this as well, but this is 3/8 of an inch, so you'd have to use like a 1/4 inch size. I'm not too sure if it comes in 3/8 of an inch. Okay, let's hope I got all of my my layers straight. So it should open up like that. So we can now use this side, and we can also use this side as well, and we can just flick through it like a book and go back in the opposite direction as well. So there's loads of different ways that you can use this album. So let's go over to our main cover now. So we're going to start decorating this one. So I've gone for the dies. Just going to grab those out. Where did I put them? I've put them right over here. Okay, so let's just grab everything that I'm going to be using. So I'd like to use this one on the inside of the album, on the inside covers, sorry. And I've already started cutting into my cardstock as well. So I will show you what dies I have used. I have used this die here and this die here. So you can make this album in a larger size, and this one's lovely because it cuts out the square and it does the stitching on both sides, so you can really make the most of your layered cardstock. So it's really good. I'll quickly show you an example here. I've cut it out from the green. It's cut it out on the inside and the outside. So if you're making an aperture or a shaker card, you have the stitching on the bit that you've cut out. So it's really well thought out, this has. So I've used the smallest of the stamp dies, so I've cut that out, and I'm going to layer this on the top. And I also have some hearts here. I'm not too sure if I'm going to use these, but I've used the ink pad here to to stamp, and then the heart die, which is here, to cut out the heart. And it also comes with a centre as well, so you can use a little trellis detail on the inside. So I've kind of got myself a few options here. I might just cut out some more of these hearts as well. So what I really want to do on the front cover is add some nice floral elements that's going to match the the pattern paper. So what I've done is I've taken my stamp block and I've stamped this onto, you get this stamp in the stamp set as well, and I've stamped it twice with VersaFine Onyx Black onto watercolour paper, and I've let that dry thoroughly because we're going to be adding water to that. So grab yourself a paintbrush, just a little pot of water here. I'm going to move everything out of the way just in case I have a spillage. That's never fun to clean up if you have everything in the way. So I've got a little paintbrush here, and I'm just looking for the ink blocks, the ink pads. Here they are. There we go. And I'm not going to put this straight onto my mat. I do have the Tim Holtz mat, but it's too big for this section that I'm working with. It's actually next to me, but you need to see what I'm going to do. So I may just have to purchase the travel size one. I know Craft Stash do have that on their website, so I may just have to invest in that. But in the meantime, I'm just looking for it because it's invisible, because it's see-through. It's a piece of acetate and it's disappeared on my desk. Here it is. Okay, so this is the backing from the stamp, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to pop that there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub this onto the acetate, and that is going to be my colour palette. So I'm going to start with the flowers first. I'm going to wet my brush, and I'm just going to add just some water just to these sections here. So there's loads of different ways that you can do this. So I'm just going to add that first, and then I'm going to go in and pick up my colour and then drop that in. So that's giving me a very light shade of the actual colour here. So we can, once this is dried, we can then build up the layers. I'm going to add a bit of water to this, it's drying. Okay, so I've done these. If the lighting is a bit different, it has got very dark outside, so it's going to absolutely rain. So I'm just going to quickly tidy all of this up. I'm just going to quickly wipe all this down and then set that aside. Okay, so I can put these cubes away now. Just make sure all the lids are on properly. Okay, so I'm going to start assembling now parts of my front cover, and I'm also going to trim down this paper here. Here it is, looking for it. Just grabbing my paper trimmer. I want this to go on the inside of the album cover, so making a nice big mess beside me, but don't we all do that? Okay, so this needs to measure 4 3/8 by 5 1/4. Let's just double check we can get a 5 1/4. Yep, so 4 3/8 by 5 1/4, and don't worry about trying to remember any of these measurements, because these will all be listed on the on my webpage. I can't think and do at the same time. Think, do and talk. Not one of my special areas. So let's get that glued down. This is going to be on the inside. Okay, and I'm going to add another coordinating piece. I'm going to use this one here, so exactly the same measurement, 4 3/8, if I remember correctly, by 5 1/4. And don't waste any of this. Don't throw away these. These are going to be really useful for just decorating parts of your pages, so keep all the little scraps just like this. And then let's get this glued down this side. So this is going to go this way, there we go. And now let's get our pages, our page stack glued in, and I would like it to go this way. Yes, this way. So our last page is going to be glued in just here. Don't worry about it covering everything else, because it's on a little hinge here. You're going to be able to lift it up, and I'll show you once I've got it glued down, but it will be just fine. We won't be covering up that patterned paper at all. Get that as central as possible, and I'm going up to the score line there. Gosh, the lighting's awful, isn't it? Let's make that a little bit brighter. There we go. So this now comes out just like that, and then we will be able to see the pattern paper at the back. So there won't be enough patterned paper here in the pack to kind of cover every single page, so you can use cutouts like this to add behind your photographs and your titles. And there's also a die sheet as well. Let's find it. It's in the pouch. You also get these tags and things that you can pop out as well. Beautiful, amazing, forever, lovely, the best. These are going to be really good sentiments here for decorating your album. But I'm going to use these on the front cover, so I won't be decorating any of these inside pages until I know what photographs and occasion that I'm going to use it for. So let's close this up. And let's grab our layers here. So I'm going to add this on here. I'm thinking I'm going to need a bit more pink. I'm going to add the pink here, but I think I'm going to need some more pink just to maybe the outside edge. See, I'm just auditioning things as we go now. Yes, I quite like that. So let's cut this pink cardstock to the same measurements as the inside papers, which it's got stuck in my head. It has, it's stuck in my head now. 4 3/4, sorry, 4 3/8 by 5 1/4. Don't say and do at the same time because you'll say it wrong. Okay, so we're going to pop that on here. I absolutely love using green and pink together. It's a lovely combination to use. Okay, so let's get this. I'm going to glue this down as well, and then that is going to be in the center. You can even go off center like this and then trim off the edges. So I'm going to glue this down to the mirror cardstock. And then glue this down to the front. There we go. So the pink is just going to be a hint at the top and the bottom. And there we go. Then I'm going to add these roses, something like that anyway. I'm going to have a little play. And I'm also going to add some of the twine, the baker's twine, not the butcher's twine, the baker's. Because I kind of want this to close as well, so I'm going to use some double-sided tape, which I do have some here. I'm going to pop this on the back, take that off, and I'm going to have to cut another panel for the back. And if you have trouble getting that off, just use a pokey tool just to get that off. And if that you still have trouble, it's because you haven't pressed this down enough. So grab a bone folder, burnish that down really well, and then this should come off really easily. And there we go. Right, so I want to have enough to tie a bow, so that should be enough. I'm going to get this in the center just like that, so I know where the center is, and I'm going to pop that on there. This may glue itself to the bottom of my craft mat, but we're just testing this out. And then what we can do is we can tie our bow. There we go. Got quite a bit of excess there. We've got absolutely loads. That's all right. There we go. You can trim those off. Then we have these two. I may just use just the one. Quite like it just with just the one. Maybe we can use it at the bottom. Quite like it at the top. We'll see. I'm going to have a little bit of a play now, and then I'll be back to show you my finished album. Okay, so here is my finished album. So it's not completed on the inside yet because I need to add my photos, and I have loads of extra bits and bobs here to complete the inside. So you may have noticed I've changed out that, here's the spare one, this one here. I found that it was a little bit top heavy, so I just wanted to balance the bottom section out a little bit. So I've put something a little lighter on the top there, and I think that has worked out really well. So I've also added just a bit of cardstock here just to cover the back. So let's have a quick look inside. So all you have to do is undo your little bow and then open it up, and I have stuck the one that I took that one off there, and I've popped it on here just with a bit of glue just underneath this bit, so I can still tuck things underneath it, so the photo or whatever layout that I put on here will fit under there. And then we can either go through our pages like this, or we can go through our pages like that. So you can pull them all out, it comes out all the way there, or you can just, you know, flick through them as if it was a little mini booklet. So that is my little mini album made with Paula's box. So this is box number 3 from the Papercraft Society, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do make a version of this album, please do tag me in social media. You can find me under Helen Griffin UK. Okay, so that is today's album. If you like this one, give me a thumbs up. All the links for everything that I've used today should be down below.